124NA.
Okay, we are on record for a review on the progress being made for this child. I believe the couple's guardianship in this one. So we're gonna have a look at what's happening with the remaining parent, but also the progress on that aspect of permanency. May I have the names of our participants?
Good morning, Your Honor. Nicole Underwood, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Nastasia Thomas, counsel for the department.
Brittany Stover, foster care worker with the department.
Michael Brooks, I represent the father, Mr. Gage.
Therese Langen, Parkside Family Counseling. I'm the intensive home-based therapist through DHHS.
Okay.
Hi.
All right. Ms. Underwood.
Yes, Your Honor. This school was previously.
Dad was doing well until suddenly he's in jail. One incident flips a child welfare case upside down. Will reunification survive?
Was previously juvenile guardianship. However, over the course of the review period before the last one, we actually transitioned Cody Jr. back into the home with his dad because he was apparently doing very well. Since then, unfortunately, Mr. Gage has been charged with domestic violence third and is currently lodged in the Lenawee County Jail. Cody Jr. is with his stepmom now. This is all very new to most of us, I would say, so we're still trying to figure everything out. But as always, my priority is Cody Jr. and his well-being. I did meet with him this morning at school. I do have his personal cell phone number now, as I had his former placement number to contact him before, but considering the circumstances, he seems to be doing okay. Stepmom seems to be a positive person for him. She's continued to get him to school. Cody's started wrestling for the school, which I think is a positive outlet for him, and I encouraged him to continue. He did report that he struggled a bit with his grades last trimester, but he did come to school kind of mid-try, so it's understandable, but he's working on getting better grades this trimester. So at this point, I would say I think where he's currently at is the least restrictive and in his best interest. However, as we move forward in this case and try to figure out what's going on with Dad long term, we'll have to kind of explore permanency for Cody moving forward.
Where was he at before that?
He was with his former stepmom, and that it was juvenile guardianship, but again, that sort of deteriorated, and then because Dad was doing so well, we felt that reunification became appropriate again.
Thank you for that reminder. Okay, Ms. Thomas, any testimony today?
Well, yes, Your Honor. I'll call Ms. Stover first. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Stover, come on up to our witness stand.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, whenever you're
Ms.
ready.
Stover, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Stover, for today's hearing, you've provided a court report with Dad's case service plan and a couple of exhibits related to IHT and some of the youth's academic stuff. Are there any other documents that you've circulated since you've provided this court report?
No, there's no other documents.
And related to the contents of the documents that you've submitted for today's hearing, are there any modifications or revisions that need to be made?
There is the update where Cody had been arrested for domestic violence.
Okay. I'll get to that more, but just like information or typo or anything in the reports themselves, is it still accurate to the best of your knowledge?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And so the report that you've provided indicates that things are going generally well for this review period. Is that a fair summation of your report?
That is accurate. At the time of my report, service providers, the probation officer for Cody, they all reported that things were going well in the home. The family reported that, so that is what my report reflected.
Okay. And since then, there's been a change in circumstances. Can you provide us with a verbal update of the information that you have related to the incident in which Mr. Gage was incarcerated.
Police report not received. Decisions made on word of mouth. CJ may have witnessed domestic violence. That's why CPS steps in. 2 courts, 1 family, moving at different speeds.
Incarcerated. And then also please provide us with an update on the child and the plan for him moving forward.
So I have requested the police report, but I have yet to receive it. So the information I've received is by word of mouth until I'm able to obtain the police report. But it was reported to the department that there was an incident on 12/12 where there was a domestic violence incident between Cody and Vanessa, where Cody had been drinking and the police were involved. Cody was arrested and he still remains lodged at the jail. Mick is involved and we're in the very preliminary stages of this investigation. And so Cody is voluntarily placed with his stepmother until we're able to get more information during this investigation.
And for the record, Mick, can you please tell us what Mick is?
Maltreatment and care.
Okay. And why is Mick involved and not you? Like, why aren't you doing the investigation, I guess?
So Mick gets involved when there's, so what happened was, this is word of mouth that Cody had come home intoxicated and woke CJ up, and he was witness to this. And so it was called in by the police, and maltreatment and care investigates any CPS complaints.
And is that because there's still the court jurisdiction for the family that it was maltreatment and care? Okay.
Yes, that is accurate.
Sorry about that. The dogs are barking at something. Okay. And then for the voluntary placement, was that developed with Mick then?
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, is the stepmother an appropriate caregiver for the child?
To the best of my knowledge, she is.
Okay. And at this time, do you have any details of the incident, or is that something the MIC investigator would be responsible for finding out?
That is something the MIC investigator is responsible for finding out. But I did request the police report, so I would stay up to date on the incident as well. Sorry.
Okay.
Did you hear me?
I did.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I have a sick kiddo at home, so sorry for the interruptions. I apologize for that. Okay. And I'm sorry, you indicated the MIC investigator would be the one to have the details, but that you were able to get some information, and you've also requested the police report, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And are you in contact with the MIC investigator as well?
Yes. She had reached out and stated that she had started her investigation. And right now he's placed with Vanessa. Okay.
For the family treatment plan, I know that IHT is involved. Is that an ongoing service that will continue to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And prior to Dad's incarceration, it seems that there was some good progress being made with the family. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say. That it was reported to me that there was good progress, but I think things were being kept from the department on how things were in the home.
Okay. Have you had the opportunity to speak with the youth in this case?
Yes.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, is he okay remaining with his stepmother?
Yes.
Given the current situation or circumstances, do you have any updated recommendations for the court as it relates to the permanency goal for the youth and Mr. Gage?
At this time, we're still moving forward with reunification, but as this investigation continues, there may be a different recommendation.
And do you happen to know where Mr. Gage is with the criminal matter? Like if he has a hearing coming up or if he'll be released anytime soon?
So yesterday he had a violation of probation hearing that was postponed out until February. He does have a hearing coming up on the 22nd, and I can't recall what that was for. And then his prelim is on the 29th.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like the court to know?
Not at this time, other than, despite everything, CJ is trying his best. He's meeting with Therese. He's really trying to work through this. He was really excited about his wrestling, and all of this has really disturbed his mental health and well-being. And so Therese is going to be very important moving forward. Cody.
Thank you for your testimony, Ms. Over. Your Honor, I have no further questions. I'm going to ask the court to accept the court report for today's hearing. Thank you.
No objection.
Thank you. It is received along with the exhibits. Questions, Mr. Brooks?
No, I don't.
Ms. Underwood?
I don't have any additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. We return to your seat. Any other witnesses, Ms. Thomas?
Your Honor, I would like to call Ms. Therese Langen if she's willing to testify.
Ms. Langen, for a witness stand.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Therese, you are the IHT worker for this family, is that correct?
I'm a therapist, yes.
Okay.
Stipulate to the witness's qualifications.
What would you like to be considered today, Ms. Langen, as far as your expert qualifications?
So I am a therapist. I've been doing home-based family therapy for 25 years.
Family therapy, trauma-informed therapy.
Trauma-informed therapy, and I also am a substance use disorder treatment therapist as well. And yes.
That sounds like what I've heard before.
Okay.
Any objections, Ms. Underwood, to reviewing this testimony in an expert capacity? Ms. Thomas?
No, I'm very familiar with Ms. Langen and would agree to her qualifications.
I am as well. I'm very grateful for all the work she's done with all of our juveniles over the years. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead. If you will.
Thank you. Ms. Langen, this is very informal, but can you just please give us an update on where things started with the family, when you started working with them, how things have progressed, and I guess a recommendation for how things can move forward?
Okay, sure. So before Thursday, before Friday morning last week at 5 a.m., I thought things were going great because what I was being told was all I could work from. So I had no idea that Cody was drinking. I had no idea that there were serious problems in the home, and that so I was left out of the full truth. So I did not know he had been drinking, and there had been problems because of that. Unfortunately, it was either told to CJ and Vanessa, or they just went along with Mr. Gage. But They knew he was drinking, but nobody told me. So with limited information to be able to really solve problems in a full way, I wasn't able to do what they needed. They were interacting very well together. They were talking in family therapy. I meet weekly with CJ in therapy, and he has a lot of trauma to process, and he has been very good at using therapy to the best of his ability for a almost 14-year-old young man. I can also add that, just one more thing, that his stepmom, Vanessa, and he seem to have formed a bond. They haven't known each other very long. I think they met this past summer before CJ came home, and they seem to have formed a bond. They are working together in being able to meet all of CJ's needs and kind of coordinate things so that they can keep moving forward, and Vanessa can give CJ the stable foundation that he needs at this time.
This dynamic of the family being protective of what's really, I guess, happening behind the closed doors. Can you give us any insight as to how or why that might occur? And again, I know that might be speculation, but in your experience, what have you noticed about that type of pattern within a family dynamic?
Well, I think, one of the goals that we set was to address and strengthen Mr. Gage's sobriety, and I think that he may not have been at a point yet where he really fully believed that he had a problem, and he thought it was something that he could control. Having never met him before September, I think it was 24th, maybe 30th, I had no idea about the depth of the problems. Unfortunately, Ms. Stover is a new worker to this case. Brenda Burgess was on the case for much longer, and then she retired. I'm afraid I didn't get all the information I needed to really have a sense of the full problem. So I dealt with the family as they presented to me, and they presented problems that we could deal with, and we did. And there were a lot of good things happening. Cody worked full time. He's the assistant manager at Burger King. They had a nice apartment. They kept it clean. They had a list of kind of wishes for, when they had the money. They got a dining room table and chairs so that they could sit down and eat dinner together. Things like that. I worked with what I was given.
Do you think there is an element of fear that the child would be removed again?
If he was drinking, you mean?
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah.
Is that something they've talked about in therapy? Just you don't need the details, but if they've talked about the importance of maintaining their family unit.
The importance of maintaining the family unit was definitely a priority. Yes.
Ms. Overhead indicated that this incident has really set the youth maybe back a little bit, or it's been pretty evocative for him. Can you just help us understand the treatment plan moving forward for him?
Treatment plan moving forward for CJ is to continue to strengthen the bond with the adult in his home, who is the stepmom, to process his own trauma and to do some good things for himself. I'm afraid that he's a little shaky on wanting to continue doing good things for himself, such as being a part of this wrestling team. He was working really hard since December 3rd or 4th, going to practice every day, learning the routine, really exerting himself and not giving up. He hasn't gone to practice now for 3 days. And I think, at first it seemed like, well, yes, you've got a lot to deal with, but I am concerned that he was really doing it because he wanted his dad's approval, and with his dad not present at the moment, I'm concerned that he's feeling like that's not as important. He also has, he started out this new trimester after, right before Thanksgiving, I guess, and has maintained almost all A's. It was a struggle at the beginning because he came in the middle of that first trimester and worked really hard, but he sees how important it is and is just keeping up with everything school-wise. At least he was until Thursday night. So I don't know really where he is with his grades at this very moment. It's very new that this change has occurred.
Is there anything else you'd like the court to know about the family and just anything any recommendations you might have for the court or this team moving forward?
Well, I would like to say that let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Mr. Gage is in jail, but that isn't the last chapter of his story. It doesn't have to be. I actually plan to meet with him. I've talked to the sheriff, and I am getting vetted so that I can go in and have sessions with him in jail. I have recommendations already about his sobriety that I'd like to give him, and just see where his mind is now that he sees that you actually have to be 100% honest with the therapist who's trying to help you, or it's just not going to work.
Do you think that it is still in the youth's best interest to remain with his stepmother?
At this time, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks?
I have none.
Ms. Underwood?
Ms. Langen, do you think that it would be appropriate to encourage Cody to also utilize guidance counseling at school if he has needs or issues within the school setting?
Yes, and you know what he does? He has Mrs. Amy Elam, who is his social worker assigned to him because of his educational needs, but for emotional help. And he has made use of that, especially, this week. But he meets with her weekly, and she's available if he needs more. And she keeps in touch with me, and so that helps us to be able to both have the same reality on what's going on.
And so the school, is the social worker aware of the current situation then?
Yes.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Sure. Redirect.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor. I would leave it to Mr. Brooks if he wanted to call his client. Thank you.
Mr. Gage, I'm advising you not to testify. You can override that decision if you wish. Do you want to testify?
No.
I have no witnesses.
I do just have one question for Mr. Gage Sr.
Dr. Games, I think it's for Mr. Gage Sr.
Mr. Gage, can you raise your right hand, please, sir, to be sworn in? You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Cody, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you believe that CJ remaining with his stepmom is in his best interest right now?
Yes.
Okay. And just looking forward to the future, if she becomes unwilling or unable to continue as a caregiver for CJ, are there any other relatives or people you would be willing to provide their information to the department to explore?
I would contact Miss Sally Walsh, who has a couple friends from our church that might be willing, that are actually foster parents, that might be willing to see him.
Okay. Any relatives or other family that you would be aware of?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. No further questions.
Did you have any other witnesses? Comments in closing, beginning with Ms. Thomas.
Your Honor, this is a very hard situation, given the report that we had when it was submitted versus where we are today. It's just a really difficult situation, I think, for the whole family. But at this time, I think what's best, Your Honor, is to sit in a holding pattern, maintain the goal of reunification, with the youth, with stepmom, and that being an appropriate home environment, the supports of Parkside there. I think that the family has some resilience factors that can be really supportive and protective right now. We'll continue to monitor Mr. Gage's criminal proceedings and figure out how they may or may not impact the child and where he is going to be living. But at this time, we would just ask the court to set maybe a 60-day review, just so we're keeping on top of things. But otherwise, if the docket can't support that, a 90-day review would also be appropriate. And we also know how to, get in front of the court if we need anything from Your Honor. As it relates to parenting time, I would ask the court just to defer to Ms. Langen on that and be able to provide us with any guidelines or conditions on parenting time. I think she's in the best situation to do that for us. I have nothing else. Thank you.
Comments, Mr. Brooks?
One of the people who's familiar with this report said to me that in light of what the report says in current events, that this is very disappointing. And I couldn't have said it any better.
Ms. Underwood.
I would echo what Ms. Thomas has indicated on the record, Your Honor, just that at this time it's appropriate to keep the goal of reunification the same, pending further court proceedings and progress in this case. I do think that where CJ is currently placed is least restrictive and in his best interest, as it continues to allow him to remain in the same school and be local to the community and to the resources that are giving him stability and support. I think an accelerated review may be appropriate, but again, if a 90-day review would also be appropriate. And at this point, I would just encourage the department to help this family with resources, considering the fact that their primary source of income is now currently in jail, and if there's any resources to assist with housing or anything temporarily, that would be explored sooner rather than
Straight
later.
A's. Wrestling. Dad in jail. Is CJ succeeding for himself or for his dad? The court's next move could change everything. Drop your thoughts below.
Sooner rather than later.
Thank you. I'll trust Ms. Stover to do that. And I know she's been on top of things like those needs in the past. Otherwise, I do find all interested parties were given notice for purposes of today's review hearing. I concur with Mr. Brooks. However, I also see Mr. Gage Sr. As having the opportunity to hopefully move past this. His son, I'm sure, is also hoping for that. And I think we all are at this point, having seen such a sustained period of time I can understand with so much riding on his success, perhaps the pressure and also the risk associated with exposing a relapse, if you will. But hopefully with the support of the department and Ms. Langen, Mr. Gage will be able to avoid consequences for this issue that he finds himself incarcerated in, at least enough so that he can remain a support for his son and his family and community. So I wish him the best of luck on those points. His son is clearly able to be very successful, very intelligent, and capable. So I wish him the best of luck too, moving forward. I would encourage both of you and mom, stepmom, to work and rely on Ms. Langen. She's really a talented professional who's going to be able to support you through this and try to bring the best good out of this relapse so that she can. There's nothing for me to do at this point except wait and see. I don't think there's any question that this child wants to stay where he's at, or that Mr. Gage Sr. wants to try to remedy what's happened here. So we'll see. And I wish you the best of luck on that. In the meantime, the child will remain under the jurisdiction of the court, supervised by the Department of Health and Human Services, placed with his father technically using that safety plan. And I'm sure Ms. Stover will, and Ms. Thomas will bring me anything that needs to happen in the event that something unfortunately happens to that arrangement, which I hope it does not, because it has proved up till this point to be very good for the child, and he's been doing very well, and I hope that he can choose to continue being successful for himself as well. It's tough to be successful wrestling. It's on your own. It's an individual sport. So I give him a lot of credit for sticking to that and for those wins, and I hope he's able to take some of that out on the mat, if you will. So I hope I was meant to be helpful. All right, I'm just going to do a 90-day review. As Ms. Thomas said, I'm available if anything needs to happen in the meantime. We'll set the review for 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday, March 17th. And I wish you the best of luck. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Your Honor, if I may.